everybody, it's Wednesday afternoon and I'm a little late today, but that's okay. I spent some time with my family and I'm just running a little late. But today I'm going to show you how to make one of the cards that I posted earlier in the month using the Stamp of the Month set. What I was going to go over is the new catalog. A lot of you should be receiving this in the mail, and I am dying to show you some of the cool things that are in this catalog. So next week I'll be doing a run through of the catalog so that you can see all the cool stuff that I have. Oh my gosh, so many things. So let's start. I have all these supplies out around me, but basically this Stamp of the Month has proven to be extremely popular, and there's just so many things you can do with it. And so I thought, well, it probably doesn't hurt to spend one more week showing you how to make some cards. And the funny thing is, the cards that caught everybody's eye were old school techniques that we used to do like 20 years ago. So I'm excited to show you. I'm going to show you two different cards. I just have a bunch of card bases cut out. You can use watercolor paper or regular white daisy, and today I'm just going to use white daisy because it's a little easier, but I'm going to keep this nearby in case I decide to do something else with that. And I always cut my card bases to full size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, or just 4 by 5 1/4, so that I can mat them or layer them. So we'll start with a smaller size. So the first technique that was in the posts was one where it had multiple colors and it almost looked like a broken mirror. I call it the broken mirror technique, although I can tell you that I don't think that's what it's actually called. That's just what I call it. And so basically what you do is, if you remember the one in the picture, this is not going to be identical to the one in the picture, but the one in the picture had a corner down here that was lighter in color, and it had enough space for a message. So I just want to make sure that I have enough space for a message. I may make it just a little bit bigger right there. Okay. And then basically you get out your inks and fill in this space right here. So let's do the softest color in that corner. Since I'm going to stamp the message on it, I really want it to be able to stand out. And so I'm going to use a glacier, and I have my brush, and I'm just going to rub that on the ink. Oh, you know what? Let me grab a scratch paper really quick. That's another thing, just so I don't get this all over my table. I'm a bit of a slob anyway. Okay, so I'm basically just going to use my brush and give this kind of a soft look in the corner here. And since we put a mask, there's going to be a very sharp line, a sharp definition line when you take that mask off. And so, gosh, I didn't get out anything. Let me grab my black. I'm going to, I think I'm going to do the Sending Good Vibes Your Way. I could do, yeah, I'll do that one. Okay, put that on my block. I don't think I need such a humongous block, but here I am. Just make sure it's inked up really good and stamp that in the corner like that. Okay. So one section down. Now I'm going to flip my masks around a little bit I'm going to take these off, and you can see that there's a really sharp line there. And now I want to put my masks back on, only covering the color, the part that's colored. Now you could do this with anything. You don't have to use ink with it. You could use Distress Oxides, you could use watercolor, you could use your colored pencils. The idea is you're just building little shapes. So let's do a shape in this corner. I want it to be a fair size because I want to use one of the main images. Like for this one, why don't we use the turtle? So I'll have that ready. And now I'm going to do a color over here. How about purple? This is wisteria. And you could use a darker purple. Let's see how this one looks though. This one's soft. I like how it kind of gives a soft look. The whole card looks really cool when it's done, when you have all these shapes put into place. All right, yeah, that showed up really well. I think I better leave my brushes with my colors so I don't get them mixed up. Now I want to take my turtle and my black ink while I still have the masks in place, and you want to put your image on there, and that way some of it will be stamped off onto the mask, and when you peel it away, ta-da! So that looks pretty cool, right? There's what we have so far. And so we're just going to keep going around. Let's make another shape. I'm going to put my post-it notes back here, and this time I'm covering the colored section, right? Because we want to mask off another area. So for this one, let's do this corner. How about lagoon? Lagoon is a little bolder than glacier, and you can make it as soft or dark as you want. I want it to show up, so I'm putting a little color on there. Okay, and then before we remove that mask, we want to put another, image on. Instead, we could do the seaweed. What do I want? How about the crab? Let's do the crab on that one. Get out my black. And kind of turn it and position it how you want it to show. That looks pretty good. Okay, I'm just going to keep going without uncovering everything, because now I'm going to make a new section. I think I'm going to do a section over here like that, and maybe I'll do another purple section over here, so we'll have one in each corner. So I'm going to get out that wisteria again and just brush some on. And again, it doesn't have to be too dark for it to show up under your mask. It'll look really cool. And this time, let me get my stamps ready here. I'll put the crab away, and maybe we'll do the fish. I like the idea of the fish or the bird up here? Let's do the fish. So I'm just going to ink that up and stamp that. Okay. Try to clean off I'm cleaning off my stamps off camera today. All right. Put that back on the sheet. Okay, let's peel that up. See how nice that looks? It has like a nice line and you can see the image well. I think I want, in the center, I want to use that seaweed. And so, let's see. I think I'll make the one in the center. How about blue? I have Capri, which is kind of a brighter blue. I'm going to use a lighter touch because you can see it may be a little bold. Here, I'm going to mask this off like this. You don't have to use these brushes either. You can use a sponge. You guys have seen me use sponges before on this kind of thing, and it works great. I just thought today I was gonna get out my brushes. I haven't used them on camera very much. All right. I really like how this looks. Cleaning that off. And the last little sliver that I have two actually. I think I'm going to go ahead and mask this off like I need to. And I'm just going to fold that back a little bit just so I get that nice point covering it. And this is my space I have left. So I have a couple of ideas. I could put a little time to relax. I could put some shells. So I could make that into one space. I could put the bird on there. You can do anything you want. I mean, this is your space. Okay, I think I'll get back out that glacier. I'm trying to think what I'll have next to it. Okay, let's do a little glacier here, and I'm just gonna put that. Remember, that's a real soft color. And I like the idea of having a couple of the shells. There's one. Here's another. Okay, and our very last space is this bigger one. I'm gonna put it, mask off our color. Doesn't this look crazy with all the Post-it notes everywhere? It looks a little much. And I think in the center, I'm gonna use I could use the purple or the bolder lagoon. I think I'll use lagoon. So here I am again. Now I think on the card that showed online earlier, it had a lot of purple on it, and I really do think that that purple was a bit of the draw. It was just a really cool effect. Okay, so trying to decide, do I want another message? I think I'm going to put this time to relax. This I did a little stamp surgery here. Time to, it's a little hard to tell if my paper is straight. It'll be interesting when I pull that off if it's if this will all be crooked. Okay, let's see. Time to relax, and then I think I want the starfish. And is there anything else I want on there? I could put just a little bit there. I love that. Okay, are we ready for the big reveal? This is the coolest part of this card, is when you take it apart and reveal, moving things out of the way. All right, so let's take off these Post-it notes. And check that out. Now don't fret about anything where there's overlap or whatever, because the next step is, you can leave it this way, but it just isn't the same as if you take a pen and just draw a line. I'm just gonna use one of my pieces of cardstock as a guide here. And so you basically, to even add more to your sections, use a black marker. And you can kind of see why I think this looks like a broken mirror or something, because it has like a shattered kind of shape. I just think this is beautiful. It's so fun. And it's really fun to use other colors. You can make it really bold. You can make it whatever you wish. Did I get them all? Yeah. So there is like the shattered mirror effect. Now the other thing you can do, if you don't, all that masking feels like a lot. So a very similar thing you can do, let me flip that over so it's not distracting. If you're like me, you've got all this washi tape, this real thin washi tape, and I've got gobs of it. I don't know, I have a sickness or something, because I feel like I'm a collector. But you could do the same kind of thing where you mask off sections, you know, like this. And if you're worried about your washi like tearing your paper or something, you can put it onto your clothes or your skin so it's not quite so sticky. And the idea is to do basically we're doing the same exact thing as we did with the, now I lost my end. We're doing the same exact thing as we did with Post-it notes. You just have to be a little more careful about your inking. Okay. There we go. So you do essentially the same thing. So you take your brush and ink up different sections. I'm hoping I have enough ink on this to just do it without pulling out my stamp pads again. Looks like I need to do a little. And then when you peel off the washi, you have white, spaces, which is kind of a cool effect in itself. It looks a little different, but like I said, you just have to be a little careful about not going over the lines. Ooh, got a bold one on there. That was that bold blue that I used a light touch on before, and here I did splash. Okay. Maybe I better go just a little bit bolder on these then. The next card that I make is a fun one. I don't know if you guys have seen. Honestly, it's been so long since I made one like that. Okay, and then basically you stamp your images the same way as you did before, and you may need a little more masking to stamp without getting the overlap. But these aren't too bad. Let's see. So I'll just put one there just in case. It's gonna cut my turtle's head off. That wasn't very smart. Okay, let's see. So basically you get the idea though. I'm not gonna finish this right now, but I am going to peel this off just so you can see what the effect is when you peel your washi off and you have that mask area perfectly white, and you can stamp any images in here that you want. Turtle with no head. Okay, like that. So that's really fun too. See how that looks like stained glass? That's really cool. All right, so there's number 2. There's 2 different ways to do the same card. Now I'm going to show you one that's kind of messy but fun. This one is really fun if you have kids to work with, because when my daughter was little, this was like a Girl Scout project that we did. So I just have some of these little cups, just any disposable cup. You can use any size of glass. I have a straw. I have some water, and I just have some water and dishwashing detergent. I'm using Dawn. You can use any brand. It does not matter the brand. As long as it makes bubbles, that's all that matters. So I'm just going to pour a little bit of water in each one, and this is maybe, I don't know, a couple tablespoons. And then I have the dishwashing, and I'm gonna put about 3 drops or so in each cup. And then what we're gonna do, let me swirl that around a little bit. We're gonna make a cool background, and we're gonna use re-inkers. Now I have essentially the same colors that I used on the other cards. Oh, see, I told you I'm really messy. I'm a slob. All right, let me clean that up. Always have paper towels nearby. Okay, I'll use this glass. It already has water in it. Might have too much water. This is what I do. Okay. I have my straw. I have my re-inkers. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put about 10 or so drops of re-inker. This one's Lagoon. Now I'm going to skip Glacier because I know that Glacier is so light, it makes it very hard to show up on this card. So I'll use the Capri Blue. If you're not somebody who uses re-inkers or has re-inkers, and this is Wisteria, I've never tried this with food coloring, but I would imagine this would work. I don't know if I would put that in my scrapbook, but for a card, it's like whatever. Okay, so what we're gonna do, sorry, this looks really messy now. I'm getting my card base out. I've got a couple of card bases ready, and this is just normal white daisy. I am going to use the straw and I'm going to blow into the cup. Don't suck. And do you see how the bubbles go up onto the cup like this? And then you take your paper and you touch it to the bubbles, okay? And you just keep going until your paper has bubbles all over it. Like that. And then when the bubbles pop, I probably should get another paper towel, just so. So when the bubbles pop, what it leaves is this really cool bubbly effect. And so I started with purple. Let's do a little bit. Actually, let's do Lagoon. You can already tell that that Lagoon is a much more saturated, bolder type color, so it's really going to show up. I'm just blowing on the bubbles and putting them onto the white cardstock. So essentially we're making colored bubbles, right? So the bubbly paper, you can kind of see how cool that looks. I feel like it needs a little more. It needs more there. And so you just go until you're happy with it. Isn't that wild? Look at that. Look how cool that is. Can you see the two different colors? That purple is super light. As a matter of fact, I brought in grape just in case on camera that purple didn't show up, but I think you can see it. It's very light, but it's really pretty. Okay, so now let's do the blue. Now this blue is definitely the boldest of the three. So you want to be a little bit careful about how much you add and where you add it. You want to make sure that you have it where you like it. If your color is too soft and you're finding that it's like, I'm not getting any color that I like or whatever, add more drops of the coloring of the re-inker. So this one is awesome. Let me add a little darker. I want to add some darker so it shows up on camera more. In real life here, it looks very bold, but it looks really pretty. Blue, 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 blue. Add that. And then I'm going to set that aside before I spill it too. And this one I added grape to, so it's bold. You can even see the purple in it. So yeah, let's see how that looks. Oh yeah, look at that. You can really see the purple on that one. So you can see that this is kind of a organic thing. It's gonna do what it wants to do. You put it on where you want it, but it gives a really cool background effect. There you go. Isn't that neat? And then once that's dry, that will make a very neat background for your images. I mean, just imagine like the fish going through the water. I pulled out some glitter paper so you could see like if it was matted onto the glitter paper, how cool that would look. The other thing with the glitter paper that would be really neat is if you took your piece like this and you took your scissors and cut it apart, just remember you kind of need to trim. If you're gonna do this cut technique, you need to, I like to cut just extra off the edges and then cut my pieces and rebuild them like a puzzle on here, where instead of where the white is, what will show is the glitter. And this is a bit tricky. If you cut it all apart at once and then just lay it out, it's hard to put the pieces back. It's hard to remember where the pieces were. So it's important to lay it back out as you do it, or else you'll be like me. And I put one together the other day and I was like, I had to do it over again. I could not get the pieces back in place the way I remembered them being. So, like this. This goes here, this goes here. See what I mean? It's like, yeah, we want to make sure we know exactly where those pieces are going. There and there. So this is a really neat card too. It gives you kind of that stained glass look even more because you have the glitter paper showing through. And just imagine, you know, you could do this. Of course you can do this with the Stamp of the Month underwater images. That'll look great. Or you could do this with, you know, planets, moons, stars. This could be a baby, you know, in the right colors. It could be a baby card or whatever. So there's a lot of options there. Show you that again. Ta-da! Okay, so that's what I have to show today. I have the bubble paper, which you just want that to dry just for a few moments before you stamp on it. I don't know whether I'll be able to stamp on it yet. It feels a little damp, but I'll try. And then I have the shattered mirror kind of look and the stained glass look. I just love these. Actually, I'm tempted to do this in Lagoon instead of black. All right, let me try. See if this will show up. Oh, look at that. That's really pretty. Now, a lot of times what I'll do with these backgrounds like this is I'll get out like a circle cutter or a punch and use that for part of the card. So you may have noticed that on some of the cards that I posted this week. I felt like I blasted you guys with ideas for this Stamp of the Month, because since it was one that is so popular, there were tons of ideas from other consultants, and it just made it really easy to, they were not all my ideas, okay? I'm good, I'm not that good. But you can see how cool that looks. That would make a very interesting background for a card. I love it. Look at that. Ta-da. All right. Yeah, I could cut those out or cut that back a little bit. Just make it a strip on a card. I could put it onto my glitter. It's gorgeous. Okay, so now I have another one. All right. Thank you so much for watching today. Let me know what you think. And next week, I am going to show you a lot of new product. It's just going to be a blitz of new product because there's so much that is awesome to see, and it's easy to miss a few of the things in there that are really fun. So, all right, I'll see you next week. Thank you.